Good morning to one and all present here. Before we start with our webinar, I would like to put forth some general instructions which are expected to be followed by all participants throughout. All participants must keep their audio muted and the videos turned off. Any questions would be addressed only through the Q&A chat box and after the speakers talk. Proper decorum must be maintained by all participants throughout. Some instructions will be shared in the chat box, so I would request you all to keep a constant eye on the Q&A chat box. The link for the feedback form will be shared in the chat box towards the end of the webinar. On behalf of the Department of Psychology of Symbiosis College of Arts and Commerce, we would like to welcome you all to the first day of our webinar on mental health and well-being. A very warm welcome to our Principal Dr. Rishikesh Soman sir, our HOD ma'am Dr. Vaidya ma'am, faculty members, speakers, and all the participants. The central theme of our webinar is mental health and well-being. Mental health in current crisis has become a crucial and an essential topic. According to WHO, mental health is a state of well-being in which every individual realizes his or her own potential, can cope with the normal stresses of life, can work productively and fruitfully, and is able to make a contribution to his or her community. The world today is facing a pandemic which has not only affected people physically but also emotionally and mentally. We, as mental health facilitators, have organized this webinar with the aim of reaching the masses and bringing into focus the importance of mental health and well-being. We hope you have a great time. Now, I would like to invite our esteemed principal, Sir Dr. Rishikesh Soman, to say a few words. Sir, please.
Good morning and good evening, as the case may be. I welcome all the speakers and participants for this two-day webinar organized by our Department of Psychology, Symbiosis College of Arts and Commerce. I am very happy that such initiative has been taken by our Department of Psychology, because as the anchor said, that mental health and well-being is topmost priority as of now, and people are getting depressed, people are getting nervous, people are getting uneasy. The lockdown and the restrictions and all these things people were not used to, and I believe that that is creating real problem. So such kind of webinar, such kind of interaction will certainly help them to overcome such kind of anxiety or such kind of depression or nervousness, and they should be able to find a way out. For students, it is a very good inputs. I believe that when they will be entering into the counseling, I think the experts today and tomorrow who will be sharing their thoughts would certainly be guiding these young counselors of future to steer the entire society in a way, I would say, towards a positive thinking and happy environment as such. So I welcome all of you once again, and I wish all the success to the webinar, and I congratulate our head of the department, Alpana Vaidya, and the students, volunteers of the department, and all those who are the organizers of this department, our technical team, Mr. Nazir, Mr. Nitin, the anchor, and Kashmira Bere, I believe, is helping us for this. So I congratulate all the team members, and I wish all the success. Once again, I welcome. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir, for the kind words. Now, I would like to invite our HOD ma'am, Dr. Alpana Vaidya, to say a few words before we truly begin with the webinar. Ma'am, please.
Thank you, Abha. Respected Principal, Dr. Rishikesh Soman. Respected Vice Principal, Dr. Sunaini Parsude. Registrar Gandhali Parulekar Madam. Our faculty members, speakers, dear students, and all the participants who have joined from Pan-India and from outside India. A very good morning, and as Sir said, a very good night to some of the speakers, because for them it is already their midnight. A warm welcome to everyone present for the international webinar on mental health and well-being organized by the Department of Psychology, Symbiosis College of Arts and Commerce, Pune. I'm happy to share with you that we have received an overwhelming response for the webinar. We have participants from around 28 states of India and more than 6 countries. I just name UK, USA, Canada, Indonesia, Sri Lanka, Afghanistan, and so on. In the current situation of COVID-19 pandemic, lockdown, quarantine, social distancing, new normal are the words that have become common. As a social science researcher, we are interested in knowing how these things are affecting the mental health and well-being of the people belonging to diverse cultures. How people are coping with these challenges. We have specifically chosen experts from academia and practicing psychologists, both from the developed nation and from the Southeast Asian countries, in order to understand their perspectives on mental health and how they are addressing the mental health related issues, specifically at workplace, in the academic setting, as well as in their respective countries. I wish to thank all the speakers because today's speakers, all 3 speakers belong to different time zones. We thank all the speakers on behalf of Symbiosis College of Arts and Commerce for accepting our invitation and sparing their valuable time. I am sure the deliberations during the 2-day international webinar will be fruitful and will help us to tackle with the mental health issues during COVID-19 pandemic. To conclude, I would like to quote Gautam Buddha, the past is already gone. The future is not yet here. There is only one moment for you to live, unquote. So let us remain mindful, let us remain positive and deal with the challenging times. With these words, once again, I thank our principal sir, our entire team members from the college and our systems administrator, Nazir sir, Nitin sir, Kashmira and all the volunteers for throughout the support. So, and of course, I also want to thank all the attendees for attending the webinar in large numbers. So, thank you one and thank you all. Over to you, Abha.
Thank you so much, ma'am. That definitely was a beautiful quote. To begin our first day of the webinar, I would like to welcome our first speaker, Dr. Shamshad Ahmed. Dr. Ahmed has several years of teaching experience. Dr. Ahmed is a licensed professional counselor and a national certified counselor as well. Dr. Ahmed specializes in the areas of mental health, stress management, acculturation stress, race and gender, self-esteem, and family and relationships. Dr. Ahmed has received various honors and awards, including the Award for Excellence in Teaching. She is a recipient of various international research grants and funds as well. She has notable publications in reputed journals to her credit. Her professional service in various capacities is unmatched. So, without any further ado, I would request Dr. Ahmed to take over the spotlight and talk on the topic, balancing the wellness wheel during the pandemic, the wellness wheel. Thank you. Ma'am, please take over.
Good morning. Assalamu alaikum, which means peace be on all. Good morning, and I know we are all in different time zones. I first want to thank the organizers, especially the principal, Dr. Rishikesh Soman, and the head of the department, Dr. Alpana Vaidya, for giving me this opportunity to talk to my fellow Indians. Even though I live here, I always connecting to India gives me a great pleasure. That's why I'm saying fellow Indians. Thank you very much. I want to thank the team, the IT team, which have worked with me very diligently the last couple of days. You know, we did have some challenges, but they have helped me through. Now, talking about my topic, balancing the wellness during the pandemic, a wellness approach. As the principal rightly said, we are talking about the great problem. And when we say problem, we are taking a negative approach. I would like to take a positive twist, to give a positive twist to it, because we are looking at the well-being and how we can achieve this well-being. Next slide, please. So What is the truth? Now, COVID has occupied all our minds. It is become universal. And it is strange but true, because the map has suddenly changed. You know, life doesn't come with a map, but we as human beings, we want a map, especially when we are on the road and life itself is a map. When this map gets disturbed, naturally there's a lot of uncertainty. And this is the uncertainty that we are now faced with the challenge as how are we going to shift a few things. And those shifting few things is what is called as the narrative approach. And that would be in my last slide. Next slide. So talking about the uncertainty, this has become a global crisis. Now, where it started and where it is moving, I know we have talked a lot about it. But what we need to address right now is the anxiety that has caused. And as I said, when we say the word anxiety, sounds very negative, and of course it is very depressing. And all of us have become very anxious and very depressed. But there are people who have coped with in different ways. So when we look at this wheels, we will see what have these people used and how did they cope with all this negativity going on around them. Next slide. So the need of the hour is very important, is to be aware of our emotions. So when there is any disturbance in our life, whatever that disturbance may be, the first thing that gets affected and impacted is our emotions. So it becomes very important for us to build resilience. So let's look at resilience. What is it? It is a process of adapting in the face of what? In the face of adversity, trauma, tragedy, things like this. So now we need to find the strength that might be coming from within us and maybe also outside of us. Next slide. So building resilience means we have to become, first of all, aware of. That is, we are going to empower ourselves. Empowerment, for some of us, comes from internal. Empowerment sometimes comes from external. So first, being aware of what are my emotions? Am I sad? Am I depressed? Am I anxious? What are my emotions with regard to COVID-19? And that's the awareness of being first aware of what this COVID-19 is. Now accept it. As Dr. Vaidya said, this is the new normal. Now that's how it's going to be. Now, when we go around now, if we don't see a person wearing a mask, it's kind of weird. It's strange now because we are now getting so used to it. So that is the acceptance that we are slowly getting into. So we're getting adapted to this new lifestyle. And the expression, so when we are upset and anxious, it becomes very important that we express it out, not bottle it in or suppress it, but we need to express it out. And then finally, we take a healthy action. So when there is a wellness approach, which means the action is towards the moving forwards, it's a positive direction. Next slide. So the wheel of wellness is what I have taken. I find this very interesting, and as an educator, a lot of my students have used it, and we have also published. One of the student had published her dissertation, which was totally focused on the wheel of wellness. So that's the wheel I took. This is the main piece I have taken. Now, when we say wheel, we have, you think of an automobile. Okay, we have two-wheeler, four-wheeler, six-wheeler, eight-wheeler, and so on. But I'm looking at two important wheels, which is the mind and the body. And if you know, the picture you get about the wheel is the spokes, or what you call as the spikes. Even if one of it has a slight crack or doesn't function, the entire wheel becomes dysfunctional. That's the reason why we want to look at all these areas, which is spiritual, emotional, intellectual, physical, social, environmental, and financial. And if you see this hand, all these 5 fingers have to work well. Even one slight cut in any one of the finger and you can't work with that, then you find your performance gets affected. In the same manner, any of these areas, if we are affected or impacted, we become slightly dysfunctional. And the more areas that get impacted, the more dysfunctional we will become. Next slide. So talking about the wheels, as I said, this is what gives us stability. So we humans are gifted with 7. Like I said, the automobiles, they have 2, 4, or whatever, but we have those 7 wheels. And each of the wheel is each of those spikes in these wheels are so important. As I said, if one of them is not working, the others will slow down. Like it has what you call a ripple effect. Next slide. Social, that's the first thing I want to address, because what pandemic has done to us is we have suddenly, because of the disturbance, we have suddenly withdrawn from so many things. And that is one of the main causes for our depression, because we are not going out, we're not doing what we are used to doing it. Even our workplace has changed, our lifestyle has changed, our family, the atmosphere has changed, everything has changed. So with the changes, now we have slowly getting adapted and beginning to move in a different direction and in a different way. Different people, as I said, react very differently. But those of us who have taken it into account and also accepted it, well, there are a lot of us who have become and emerged successful. And I have seen in my clients as being introduced that I'm an educator and a practitioner. Now I'm primarily a practitioner, and I'm seeing a lot of clients who are coming in with the additional stress of COVID. As it is, they're coming in with some problems and want the solutions to that. But what is causing more stress and anxiety for them is the added, as I said, this is the added piece, which is COVID-19. So the first thing which gets impacted naturally is the family. But looking at the positive side of it, what I noticed in many clients, they said, oh, we spend more time with our family. We have more time to spend with our children, or the couples have started, sorting out the differences because the home has become now the workplace and the children are at home. So too many adjustments are being made and people have started looking at it more positively than before. Strange, but true. Then extended family members, and now the grandparents are not able to visit, or we are not able to visit. So what has happened is people have started finding ways. FaceTime has become more common, chatting, video conferencing, all that has become important. So people have now started introducing these things and engaging in these activities, talking to colleagues, talking to friends, talking to neighbors. This is the hour of the day. So social life, though people think that it has become restricted, most of us think it is not, and it is how the attitude that we take, the steps that we take. So it is very, very imperative that we continue our socialization and social life as if the COVID didn't happen. And how we can do it, first of all, is strengthening our family ties, strengthening our connection with the extended family members, and of course our colleagues, the workplace, since we are all working from remote, we are fully connected with them. And friends, yes, again, whatever means you're using. And the last but not the least is the neighbors. Many of us, we don't even visit. Naturally, we don't visit, but we are still connected with our neighbors when we are walking outside, when we see them, or wherever we meet with them. So social is one of the most important spike of the wheel. Next slide. Emotional, maintaining a healthy emotional life. How? And a lot of clients ask me, how do you maintain an emotional life? I said, yes, we can. So first of all is taking care of the emotions. First, identify, become aware, what is your emotion? Is your emotion sadness? Is your emotion anger? Is your emotion depression? What is it? Are you just keeping it inside, or you bringing it out and displacing it onto someone else? So that again needs some kind of a change. First of all is be aware of it, and second is ask yourself, what am I doing? Why am I getting angry? Why am I snapping at people? Why am I so upset with myself? So balancing that becomes very, very important. And then there is the hurt that comes because we snap when we are in the family members, because whatever stress that we are taking in, we are not able to let it out. So what we do is we displace our anger on a family member, or we displace an anger on a colleague. We might display an anger when we go to go shopping, we might display on someone else. So it's very, very important to balance these emotions. Next slide. The next is the spiritual. Yes, this is a very, very important piece. Understanding the process of beliefs, values, and ethics. So how can we maintain the spiritual balance? A lot of times the spiritual piece, I know as Indians, we inculcate and we engage in it, like yoga, meditation, practicing relaxation. And that's the first thing that the clients often ask is, help me alleviate the anxiety, help me alleviate the sadness, help me alleviate, how do I cope with this COVID-19? I say, okay, whichever denomination you are, whatever may be your religious belief, if you're going to your church or any kind of a religious thing. I know you're not going right now, but stay connected. Stay connected, do a lot of meditation, get that spiritual peace in you. So that is very, very important, is bringing in the spirituality and the spiritual peace within, because we find a lot of peace in it. Next slide. Physical, balancing the lifestyle. Because of the restriction, the movement and all of that, now people have started to either overeat or undereat. Now, what has COVID done? Again, taking a positive approach. I know people were eating out so much. Anytime we go shopping or the weekend, it was all, less people were taking care of themselves. I think this is a kind of a semicolon or a colon COVID has put, making us become aware of what we were doing to our bodies, how we were abusing it, what is our diet. So some of us are forced to only eat certain things because of the availability. And some of us said, okay, you know what, I'm not doing enough exercise, so I need to watch my diet. So in some way, we got our bodies cleansed up. So we are doing a lot of body cleansing, which was a necessity and which was a requirement. The second question, many of us have this, is what do I do about exercise? I'm sitting in front of the computer all day. I'm not able to move around. There are many ways, again, we can devise things of doing the exercise. The exercise means both the mental exercise as well as the physical exercise. How you want to do exercise? You can draw your own map. Like I said in the beginning, the map has changed. Now this is the map that you need to draw. Every family has its own map. And I cannot project my map onto my client, because I say, okay, show me what your map looks like. They say, what do you mean by map? Okay, what does your daily schedule look like? That's what I mean. When we say schedule, I mean that's the map. Okay, my daily schedule, I get up and I start working and then I take a break. What is the break? They're working on their iPhones. Or I said, okay, wait a minute. When was the last time you did exercise? So bring in the exercise in your daily schedule. So you want to do it in the morning, or you want to do it in the evening, or you want to do it in the break time, that's up to you. You have the total freedom. So practicing mental exercise and physical exercise becomes mandatory. The third is the sleep. Either people are oversleeping because some of us are laid off, we don't have work. And some of us, because of the exhaustion of working all day, this evening they just crash. They want to sleep and then they wake up late in the night and they have the food. There is a whole disturbance. The whole cycle is disturbed. So I say, monitor your sleep. What time you wake up and what time you go to sleep. Recently, I'm talking to 5 teens of the same family. And what time are they sleep? They're waking up in the afternoon, midday. And what time they go to bed? Early in the morning. Next day, 3 a.m. they're sleeping. So look at how the sleep cycle has been disturbed. Because of the sleep cycle being disturbed, even their diet cycle is disturbed, or the food habits have changed. So all these need a lot of balancing. Balancing the lifestyle is one of the keys for physical health. So monitoring and dental and other medical needs. So many of us are not able to go to a dentist's office or don't go because it has all become telehealth, telemedicine or telehealth. So people have to be cautious and careful of whatever intake the food products they're taking in the body. Next. Intellectual. What are our belief systems? Because our thought processes are so much impacted and affected by COVID. Most of us have moved from having rational thoughts to irrational thoughts. What are the irrational thoughts? People say, I have no idea when this is going to, I doubt whether ever we'll get back to the so-called normal. Well, we tell them, we keep reminding them, this is the new normal. Get adapted to the new normal. Become aware of your thoughts. What are your thoughts? So look at yourself, do the self-awareness, do the introspection. What are my thoughts? Awfulizing? Am I making it like too big and always only looking at the negative side of it? Like I said, in the positive side, social, we get more connected with family, more connected with people outside, take care of your health and become more spiritual. So awfulizing, some of us do the all or none thing, either it's too good or too bad. So it's only the two extremes thing. Magnification, again, blowing it out of proportion. Projection, blaming others. Okay, it came from this country, it came from that country. The fact is now, it is with us now. Now, how do we deal with it? magnification, projection, rationalization, or even denial. I just had a client call me this afternoon. He had an appointment and he was telling me, I don't know how my girlfriend got it. Well, how did your girlfriend got it? You need to figure out that, because she might have got it from someone. And he kept on saying, no, you know what, we follow, we have a very healthy lifestyle. Well, you never know how and where it comes from. So being in denial, again, only we will be at a loss. We will be suffering. Next slide, please. Environmental. Now, this is another very, very important piece. Environment inside the house as well as environment outside the house. So decluttering inside the house. Because of COVID, what we did, we have now started giving away, getting rid of unwanted things. So it can be decluttering in the house, or it can also be the decluttering in the mind, in the head, like what I said in the previous slide. So working on those, cognitive distortions, the irrational beliefs. So decluttering is very, very important. Cleaning up the house. This is the time, because there is a pause. We have suddenly stopped the frenzy that we had, the rat race that we had, rushing to do things, rushing to go to work. And all of that, all the rush has stopped. The roads have become clean. The air that was polluted has become clean. Everything has become clean. So the environment to a certain extent has become really clean. So what about inside the house? It's time to declutter it. Recycle. Get rid of what you don't want. Recycle stuff. Keep the surroundings clean. This is, again, very important. I don't want the trash in my house, so I just put it outside my house. So especially like I was reading today, what do we need to do with the face mask? When sometimes I walk around, even here, I see a face mask thrown somewhere. It's lying on the road. So that's a civic sense we definitely need to develop. People ask, how did I get it? Well, the air that we breathe in or whatever could have happened, maybe from the mask, maybe from anything. So cleaning up the society, cleaning up your environment, cleaning up your neighborhood, that lies on each one of us. Like they say, every drop of water makes an ocean. In the same manner, every person's act of having that civic sense, making the environment clean will benefit not just us, it will benefit everyone. Next slide. Financial. Okay, now the finance piece. So again, people have taken pay cuts, people have lost jobs, and now people have more other kinds of expenses. So this COVID has taught us to live within the means. So either no excesses or no deficiencies. And planning and budgeting, getting input from all family members, working in unison and cohesiveness. Again, each slide for me, I'm only giving a positive twist and a positive approach. This has brought many family members to sit down, discuss and talk, where parents have taken in, adult children, grown-up children or teens and discussing with them. And we know people who have who live below poverty. One thing COVID has really thrown them off balance is not having laptops or not having computers. And some schools are providing and some schools are not. So where to, get the money, pull from here and pull from there, and trying to budget and I think in that manner, the entire family unison, meetings, sitting together, talking, discussing becomes extremely important, because we need to pay attention to what is the necessity now, what do we need right now. So throwing out all other things that we were doing before, like shopping, bringing in more groceries, all that, of course, in its own way has taken care. I would say nature has taken its course. Nature has taken a good course. So it has actually taught us to live in a style, given us a new lifestyle to say, hey, this is what you can actually do. So that is teaching us. And so we need to take lessons from the nature. Next slide. The narrative approach. Now, this is one of the most important theories that we have studied, and I have been teaching, and also I have been practicing. Now, what do the narrative therapists say? They look at our life as a structure, as a home which has the basement, which has a first level, and which has a second level. Now, I'm speaking from being where I am. I'm talking of these three levels. But I can also speak universally what we mean by these three levels, where I say basement, first level and upper level is the basement is the unconscious. The first level is the preconscious or subconscious, and the upper level is the conscious. They talk about the construction and the deconstruction. So what is this construction and the deconstruction? The construction is, first of all, the deconstruction is the various changes that have happened and then building up a new construction. So, okay, let's begin with what I'm saying as basement. So from my point of view, or the society that I'm living in, how we view as basement. Basement is where we are pushing back things or putting stuff which we don't need, which maybe sometimes we may use, or unwanted stuff. I would like to put that in parentheses as trash. The trash that hurts us, the trash that may sting. So what is in my unconscious is any kind of a painful thing. And the painful thing could be anything such as the losses that we have encountered, that we have come across very recently, the loss of a family member, or the loss of a friend, the loss of health, any kind of a loss of a job. So it is so painful that it goes and sits in the unconscious. What is the first level? Yes, it's there. It's time and again coming and bothering me, or time and again I get reminded. So it's in the first level. What's in the conscious level? What I'm conscious about all the time. So if it is the conscious, the preconscious and the unconscious, then what is the deconstruction I'm talking? The deconstruction, what I'm talking is what is in the unconscious or what is in the conscious, how it may impact and affect my conscious level. So for example, let's say people say things and say, I didn't mean it. It can be slips of the tongue. It can be dreams or bad dreams, which means I need to clean the clutter. I need to clean the clutter. It's trying to find unsafe means or unhealthy channels to seek out and disturb us. So we need to clean up the basement. Okay. Second is what is in the preconscious or the subconscious. It is there, it comes and it goes. It comes and it goes. It bothers you. And you say, oh, you try to dismiss it off. You try to, like I said, you're in denial. No, I don't think I'm actually tense. I don't think I'm anxious. We are constantly in denial. And the conscious is where we are talking nothing but negatives and COVID all the time. So each one of us need to look at these things. Probably I may not be, or you may not be aware of what's going on in my unconscious because it is repressed, because it is in the basement. We need to pull that up. How can we pull that up? We can pull that up by first not letting it go into the unconscious. First is let's start working with the second level, which I said what is in the conscious level. So what is in your conscious level is your anxiety, your depression, your anger, any of those negative emotions. Because I'm taking the mind-body approach, as I said, the psych and the soma. The psych and the soma are so important, like the wheels, which I said, and all those spokes of the wheels. If the mind is disturbed, the body gets disturbed. If the body is hurt, it hurts the mind. So first look at your conscious level and see what are your thoughts. Are they rational or are they irrational? If it is rational, there is no thing, I mean, nothing to worry about, but it's the irrational thought. If it's the irrational thought, you need to address that first. Only if we address it. So how do I address it? By talking it out, self-dialogue, have an internal dialogue. Why am I worried? Now, what do I need to do? Have I taken a proper action? Have I taken the right step? Am I taking care of myself first? Because if I have this, I'm worried about the uncertainty. What if I get, oh, it's there in the third house next to mine, somebody has COVID, so the entire area is blocked off. So now I'm obsessed and compelled to do certain things. So look at your conscious area and conscious level and first work on that. So now that's the first thing, that first step we need to take is looking at it. While looking at it, naturally what will happen is what is in the subconscious, you are giving it freedom to come to your conscious level and start working on that. So by the conscious and the subconscious working in unison or working together, The unconscious has a real healthy outlet. So it doesn't need to sit there, because that I said, when you do the decluttering, it doesn't have to sit there. You don't have to, keep those painful memories. First of all, don't send those memories there. Second is, when they are there, how do we bring that up? By constantly talking about it, you can start cleaning it. So do that, do all this. Unless we clean up any dust or rust or any foreign matter, and only we can do that by being positive. So this is the approach which I'm taking. So once again, in a nutshell, I want to put it, looking at the wheels. Now, what are those two wheels? We have two wheels. One is the psyche and the other is the soma. So what is the psyche? Talks about spiritual, it talks about intellectual, and it talks about emotions. What is the soma? Physical exercise. That's the main piece, the soma, and as well as the financial, which causes us what? If I have the right means, then I can be able to take care of my body. So the psyche and the soma are the two wheels. So what is the positive approach I can take? The positive approach I take is I look at my three levels. First of all, I'm conscious about my conscious level. So let's look at it. Am I in denial? Am I projecting? Am I rationalizing? Am I magnifying? Am I awfulizing? Look at your conscious level. While you're addressing the conscious level without fear, without feeling ashamed or embarrassed or shy. So shyness, embarrassment, feeling ashamed, all these are negatives. They're not doing any good to you. We need to have new tools. So I also add to it the solution focus approach, because that's again another positive approach, where we ask the client, what have you used so far? Well, none of the tools seem healthy. We'll say, okay, so you're using the same tool which is not helping you. Sometimes I have used this. So you have used once in a way, but you didn't put it to use. So repetition of a healthy tool. So repetition of a healthy tool is a healthy approach, because we have the keys in us. The solutions are with us. As the principal said, this is a problem. COVID is a problem. But yes, it is a problem. And I'm sure all of you will agree, we have solutions to it. How to take care of ourselves. How to take care of yourself is a mind and a body, and taking a positive approach. The more we get scared, the more we will get impacted, and it's going to depress us and not help us. So declutter yourself, look at your basement, look at your first level, and also look at your upper level. Like I'm saying, try to bring what is in the repressed stage to the subconscious and then to the conscious, and take a positive approach. Use it. You have a lot of tools. Each one of us, we have tools. All of us don't have to go to a therapist for it. The therapist, what he does is only helps you to find your own tools. So it's time for us to not sit back, but become alert and look at what do I have. And if I don't have it, then look for it elsewhere, from family, from friends, from medical people. But don't stop looking for it, thinking it won't happen to me. God forbid, I'm not saying that. But then if each one of us take care of ourselves, not go out as what our government doesn't want to, and be at home, following those advices, taking care of ourselves and taking care of others, and thinking about everyone, then I think we can handle this and tackle this. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
The session is now open for questions from the participants. We have a question from one of the participants.
Yes.
In these challenging times, do we need to balance our emotions, or do we get rid of our negative emotions?
Yeah, that's a very good question. I really like it. I mean, there's a big twist there. Do we need to balance it, and do we need to get rid of negative emotions? Yes, balancing is great, but how do you know if it is equal? Even if it is equal, anytime the positivity might go down and the negativity might come up. Well, if you can manage it and integrate it, that's fine. But why keep anything that is not going to help you, which is distressing, which might pull you down? So it will be better if you can take care of that, alleviating that, reducing that, will definitely help you, because this will increase the positivity and the positiveness, and that increasing the health, mental as well as the physical. So my strong recommendation is keep the positivity or the positive health increasing, and try to reduce the negativity or anything that is negative. So like it said, correlation, when one goes up, the other goes down. Exactly, that's the same.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thanks.
The next question is, could you please explain with examples irrational beliefs like magnification, projection, and rationalization during COVID?
Yes. Okay. Magnification, projection, and what's the third one?
Rationalization.
Rationalization. Okay. Magnification is blowing it out of proportion. Okay. So I know people go to such extremes even at home, like, the obsessive compulsive behavior increases. We are talking about washing our hands and, doing the laundry frequently. But there are people who do in excesses. Remember one of the slides I said deficiencies and excesses. Those are two very important things. Either don't be laid back and say, oh, it's not going to affect me. That's not going to happen because I'm not going out. People who don't go out, still they get affected and impacted by whatever the means are. So that deficiency is not taking good care, and too much of that taking good care. Also, there needs, when I said balancing, this is what I mean by saying balancing it. Balance, because this will be so, we get so preoccupied that we cannot focus on other things, and all other functions of the day, our responsibilities, our jobs will get affected. Yes, you are mindful of what COVID is, you're mindful of maintaining good health, but that mindfulness doesn't make you go to the extreme of, okay, I'm so conscious and I'm so obsessive compulsive, I don't talk anything. I open my mouth, I want to talk about that. So that's the magnification. The other is a projection. Projection is blaming onto others. Now we have, every country has their own way of looking at how COVID is, from where it came and what it came and how it came. Well, this is not the time. This is not the time to blame a neighbor, to blame someone, or to blame so-and-so came and went. So let's stop blaming outside people. Let's look at what we need to do now. This is an irrational thought a lot of people have. When they come in, for example, when my clients come in and say, I'm stressed because of, I'm stressed not because of, I'm not managing it. They say I'm stressed because of so-and-so, right? So that's the projection I'm saying. Why are we projecting onto others? Okay, it has happened. This is the reality now. There is a new map that we need to create. So let's learn to take care of ourselves. And what's the last one again you said is? Rationalization. Okay, what rationalizing is, okay, this happened because, some people take it into account that maybe blaming themselves. So rationalizing it, even that is not okay. This, whether blaming self or others, both are not okay. So we need to say, okay, if you're self-blame, too much of self-blame can be damaging. Magnification can be damaging, projection can be damaging, and rationalization also can be damaging. So when we say rationalization, rational and irrational. So let us look at both. Which is it? Which is more or which is less? By being too rational or too irrational. Some people are either too irrational or some people are too irrational. And too rational also means too intellectual. And that's again not a good sign. Did I answer the question?
Yes, thank you, ma'am. We have another question from the participants. They are asking, how do we deal with children in this pandemic?
Okay. Yeah, I know this is especially for parents, excuse me, this has become quite challenging. And again, in my practice, we have play therapy and a lot of specialists who actually are specialized in that. Mine is family therapy, marriage counseling, and couples counseling. That's my area. But slowly, children have come to me and we have started working on that. So managing it, this again, when I talk to parents, I say, okay, now let's take a look at your schedule. How are you managing? Because you have kids at home and also you have your own job. So what are the blocks of time? The blocks of time are my work time, my personal time, and my family time. Excuse me. So the family time is the time that needs to be spent with children. So there's a big excuse the parents give. Oh, I'm working, I am in this meeting, I'm in that meeting, and oftentimes the children are neglected. They give the iPads to children, they give the computers to children, the phones are given to children, thinking that this will engage the children, and that leads to new problems, and it is leading to new problems. So engage your children by giving them good exercises, good work. That's left to you parents. You parents have to, you know your child well. So either, I know all of us cannot afford to have someone, to have a babysitter, or have someone, an adult person in the house to supervise. Those of us who have grandparents living in the house, I think we are blessed. But then, again, once again, it's the couple, or I mean the mother and the father, who have to draw the plan and work around the plan to see the children are doing some schoolwork, engage in something related to the studies, and sometime could be plain time, and then it could be a nap time and food time. So this is again the balancing the wheel. This is how the wheel is balanced. Looking at, as I said, all the spoke. Now, when you're talking about the wheel, the family as a wheel, what is my responsibility to my child? Earlier, the children were gone to school. Now is the homeschooling. So the child is engaged with the teachers. Lot of memes, and there are a lot of funny videos that are coming out. The teacher is trying to teach, and here's a mother brushing the teeth. Those type of funny things are happening, and that's actually, some of it is quite true. So it becomes very important that parents now also behave very professionally, and first of all is taking care of the children and what are the needs of my child, the physical needs, the social needs, and the emotional needs of the child. So not just our own needs, the needs of my children. I've provided this food in the thing, I've kept snacks, and these are the books, and you're supposed to do, or these are your toys, you're supposed to do. Monitoring, supervision. I need to know, as a parent, I need to know what my child is doing.
Thank you, ma'am, for patiently answering all the questions. I would now request Abha to please take over.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Ahmed, ma'am, for all the wise words and all the amazing advice. This was definitely very enlightening, and the balancing wheel was something which was very important for all of us, especially during this. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you.
Now I would request Ghanisha to take over, please. Ghanisha. No worries, ma'am. I shall continue. Now I take great pleasure to call upon our next speaker, Professor Verena Sekampramana, an elite faculty and a senior lecturer of psychology at the University of Surabaya, Indonesia. We are indeed honored to have you here, ma'am. Now I would like Verena, ma'am, to throw some light upon the topic, stress and well-being at work. Ma'am, please.
Okay, thank you very much. And first of all, I want to thank you for giving me the opportunity, and it's very nice to see you all, though I cannot see you by face, but I'm very glad having all you here. My topic is stress and well-being at workplace, and I'm glad that the first speaker, Dr. Shamsat, has told everything that is related to stress. So I don't think that I need to explain about it or discuss about it again. So we better, for the fourth slide, please. Thank you. Sorry. Okay, the fourth, the next, please. Okay, next, please. Next, please. Okay. What I want to stress is about my topic and talking about stress. Stress is actually a normal part of life. So at times it serves a useful purpose. Stress can motivate you to get that promotion at work or run the last mile of a marathon. But if you don't get a handle on your stress and it becomes long term, it can seriously interfere with your job, family life, and etc. Next, please. This is the curve that explained the previous slide before. Next, please. Almost all of this slide I present now is I take it from the website of the coronavirus disease, the Center for Disease Control and Prevention in USA. So I'm sure that Dr. Shamsat know it well. Next, please. This we are talking about the practical side, especially at the workplace. As the Dr. Shamsat also has explained before, that fear and anxiety about the new disease and what could happen can be overwhelming and cause strong emotions in adults and children. And I'm not talking about the adult and children. Okay, the public health actions such as social distancing can also make people feel isolated and lonely and can increase stress and anxiety, which Dr. Shamsat also talked about it before. Okay. However, these actions are necessary to reduce the spread of COVID-19. Whether we like it or not, we should do that. So we have to not only to follow the rules, but it's for the sake of all of us, I think. Next, please. So coping with stress in a healthy way will make you and the people you care about, your family, your relatives, and your community stronger. Next, please. Okay, now this is our topic about the workplace. So maybe most of us also now is working from home, and it has probably changed the way you work. Like the fear, anxiety, and other strong emotions can be overwhelming, and workplace stress can lead to burnout. How you cope with these emotions and stress can affect your well-being, the well-being of people you care about, your workplace, and your community. During this pandemic, it is critical that you recognize what stress looks like. Take steps to build your resilience and manage your job stress, and know where to go if you really need help. Next, please. The symptoms of stress, I think this is also has discussed before. The feeling of irritation, anger, or in denial, feeling uncertain, nervous, anxious, lacking motivation, feeling tired, overwhelmed, or burned out, feeling sad or distressed, having trouble sleeping, and having trouble concentrating. Next, please. The common work-related factors during this pandemic is first, concern about the risk of being exposed to the virus at work, the taking care of personal and family needs while working, managing a different workload. Of course, sometimes it may be a burden for us, a lack of access to the tools and equipment needed to perform your jobs. The last thing is really me. Sorry. Thank you. Next, please. The other common factors is the feelings that you are not contributing enough to work, or guilt about not being on the front line, uncertainty about the future of your workplace and or employment, whether I still can work here or have to look for another job, and etc. Learning new communication tools and dealing with technical difficulties, which I think this is my experience 2 days before, and adapting to a different workspace and or work schedule. Next, please. What can we do to cope this job stress or to manage this job stress? First, communicate with your co-workers, with supervisors, employees about job stress while still maintaining social distancing at least 6 feet. Identify things that cause stress and work together to identify solutions. This is, I think, one of the positive thinking that Dr. Shamsad has said before, that we have to be positive in thinking and in action, and not really care about who is the countries, which countries is the first, and etc. No, we have to work really hard to take care of and to fight this pandemic together. All of us are one. We are one. Talk openly with employers, employees, and unions about how the pandemic is affecting work. Expectations should be communicated clearly by everyone. So this is a very good communication, I think. Ask about how to access mental health resources in your workplace. The procedure, I think. Next, please. Identify those things which you do not have control over and do the best you can with the resources available to you. Increase your sense of control by developing a consistent daily routine when possible, ideally one that is similar to your schedule before the pandemic. So life is just like, although it's the new normal, but it's still normal, especially related to your habit. So keep on the routine one, as it the pandemic never comes. Keep a regular sleep like this. Take breaks from work to stretch. Stretching is very good. The exercise, like Dr. Shamsad said before, or check in with your supportive colleague, co-workers, family, and friends. The social one, from the wheel of wellness, the social is also important. Spend time outdoors, either by being physically active or relaxing. Next, please. This is the consistent daily routine. We are focused on the daily routine. Like if you work from home, set a regular time to end your work for the day, if possible. Practice mindfulness technique like the yoga, the meditation. Do things you enjoy during non-work hours, like cleaning the desk. Make your home very clean and very convenient. Maybe all of the activities that you cannot do while we are doing our job in the office. So this is the time for us to keep the balanced life or work-life balance. Know the facts about COVID-19, especially from the WHO. Be informed about how to protect yourself and others. Understanding the risks and sharing accurate information with people you care about can reduce stress. You can help others and also help you make a connection with others, with the relatives, with friends, with colleagues, and everybody around your community. Though we cannot make the real contact, the face-to-face relation. Remind yourself that each of us has a crucial role in fighting this pandemic. It's very, very important. We have to take the active action to fight this pandemic. Don't say to ourselves that it's none of my business. No, we are the one who have to make a crucial role in fighting this pandemic. This is the chance to be a hero, though our environment is depend on the whether your environment is broad or not. Only the small scope, I think, it's okay. Next, please. Remind yourself that everyone is in an unusual situation with limited resources, very, very limited, especially if we cannot find the vaccine in the short time, or maybe the expectation is that we will cover it in maybe 1 year, the next 1 year. This is the very limited resources. Take breaks from watching, reading, or listening to news stories, including social media. something. It's very terrific. I think the social media. Be selective to choose which one is reliable and you can trust. Is hearing about the pandemic repeatedly can be upsetting and mentally exhausting. Connect with others, talk with people you trust about your concern, how you are feeling, or how the COVID-19 pandemic is affecting you. Connect with others through phone calls. I think this one is already discussed before. Next, please. Check on others. Helping others improves your sense of controls, belonging, and self-esteem. Look for safe ways to offer social support to others, especially if they are showing signs of stress, such as depression and anxiety. The last one is, I think, is more usual, more especially here in Indonesia. So many people get the anxiety, whether this one, what if like this, what if like that. But being depression, I don't think that is most common in our culture. Because yeah, okay, we talk about the culture next. If you feel you may be misusing alcohol or other drugs, including prescription drugs as a means of coping, reach out for help. I don't know if it's also happened in our culture. Maybe not too many people, but maybe some of us, especially the young people. Or if you are being treated for a mental health condition, continue with your treatment and be aware of any new or worsening symptoms. Go looking for the help of professional. I don't know what happened in India, but here the professional in psychology, especially, usually we can find them in the universities, but we don't have the system like in the United States, for example, which is more systemic approach. But we can do that kind of activities by ourselves, by our community. Next, please. This is the cultural adaptation, like I said before. As you see in the Indonesian culture, or maybe also in Indian culture, according to Geert Hofstede, we are collectivism. So you can imagine how hard it is for us to do the physical distancing, to do the social distancing, just stay at home for months, not only for days, for months, and stay away from people. It's very, very difficult, very hard for us because we are collectivism. We like to gather, to have everything, also many activities together, and everything is together. Indonesia, you know that, maybe like India. That's why it seems that during this pandemic period, we have to change our culture and our habitat, our environment, so that we can do everything by ourselves and just say hi and hello virtually, and from by using this technical everything. But we have no other choice. We have to face this situation as a challenge. So maybe, like Dr. Shamsa said, that maybe it's time for us to learn how to do everything by ourselves and stay away from people, and try to do the sport, for example, by ourselves. But talking about the sports, one of the symptoms of our the best common activity now during the pandemic is the cycling. People like to cycling especially in the night or in the evening. So they go together, 20 people, 30 people, and make the cycling together, because they think maybe, though they still wear the mask, but they think this is the sport that we can do we can do the sport, and we can do the gathering. I think maybe it's more suitable for our culture, but still keep the distance. So for another activities like the religious activities, praying together in the same place, I think the government has just yesterday or 2 days ago, the government has said that be careful, please do not do the religious activities together in the common place, because after some of us has opened the chance, then some of us also getting the virus again. So it's very dangerous. That's why the government also not forcing us, but trying to persuade us, please don't do that, because you see that as the collectivism, as I said before, it's very hard for us to do all the things alone, not together. This togetherness is one of our culture, like the collectivism said. I don't know about the Indian culture, but talking about the population, we are almost the same, though you are the population, your population is quite tight compared to us. So that is what I can share, and maybe after this we can discuss and share the what's happened to us in our country, in our countries. And the last thing is I want to quote this. I want to share this quote to you. That man is the most perfect creation of God. So we have to convince that with the as a perfect creature, we can face this challenge, the pandemic. We can cope with the pandemic together, as long as we feel that we are one in this case. Yeah, I think that's the spiritual wheel of wellness. Besides the as the internal resources from us. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. The session is now open for questions from the participants. We have one question which says that, what are the modern day solution-based approaches that are being practiced by big companies like Google and Facebook to increase the productivity of their employees?
Sorry, is it the question about what happened in the big companies, like in the United States?
Yes, ma'am. What are the approaches that they are using to increase work productivity of their employees?
I think, I mean, I don't know a lot about the big companies in United States, but what I'm trying to share is what happened in our companies, in Indonesian companies. Like they do all the procedure that the government asking in case to prevent the pandemic virus, and still they set the target what you have to do in a month or in a week, although you work at home like that. And sometimes for the employees here is much more heavier than you come to the office. So I think it's what they have done in the big companies also, maybe just like the same, especially what I know from the Google, that they apply the flex time, not because of the pandemic, but years ago because of their type of job. So they give the freedom for the employees to do all the things, sometimes from home, or you can just go with your children, with your family. But the important thing is the target is done. So I think the productivity is just the same. The difference is only the where you work, where you start the job, or just the physical, about the physical situation. But the target, the productivity is just the same. Only we have to deal with the technology, the IT, and sometimes it may be sometimes difficult for especially the old people, or old employees. But like I said before, that we are collectivism. So what happened in my office or in my campus is the young lecturer can help me to cope with the IT difficulties. So that's one of the positive sides of our culture, the collectivism. We can help each other. Like yesterday or 2 days before, I also was helped by all the committee, and while I was stressed at that time of this because this application is first the new one for me. That's all. Am I answer your question? Sorry.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you for patiently answering the question. I would now request Ghanisha to please take over.
Thank you, ma'am. It was indeed great having you with us here today. To move ahead with the webinar, the last speaker of the day, Dr. Meera Shankar. Dr. Shankar has over 22 years of active teaching and consultancy and research experience in the field of organizational behavior, human resource management, leadership, motivation, entrepreneurship, stress management, to name a few. Currently, she is working as a director at JP Bajaj Institute of Management, SNDT Women's University, Mumbai. She's authored 2 books on organizational behavior. To her credit, she has more than 40 journal research papers and research articles. It's my absolute honor to ask ma'am to take over and enlighten us on the topic psychological stress due to COVID-19 encounters and situations. Over to you, Meera ma'am.
Am I audible to all of you?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Can you see me? Because I'm not able to see myself.
Yes, ma'am.
So first of all, still it is good morning. Good morning to everybody. And I would like to say big thanks, and I'm honored, invited by Dr. Alpana Vaidya for this international webinar. My special thanks goes to the principals and vice principals of the Symbiosis College who have invited me over here to talk about the psychological stress which has become, or it has been raised by the pandemic, which we all of us know as COVID-19. Before I begin with my presentation, I would like to give the compliment to my previous speakers. Most of things already they have covered, but yes, nevertheless, there are always thought which can be expressed to in many ways of the same thought. Here what I want to say, that due to this pandemic, all over the world, people are bleeding from inside. Because if I would not say everybody, then most of us. Because reason was not known to us. It has come all of a sudden. There is no cure. There is no vaccine. There is, I mean, we are not able to think about that how we'll go about it. All those symptoms, whatever it is being shown to us during the COVID pandemic situation, it is already existing there. Only thing that when we used to take medicine, those symptoms used to be vanished after some time. Here probably it will not be if your immune system is not strong enough to cope up. As my other colleague have already spoken about it, that how we can be mentally strong as such. So to start here, begin with, I would like to start my presentation, and I would like to share my own, I could say that my PPT. So can I share on my myself, if I'm allowed to?
Yes,
Yeah?
ma'am.
Okay. Is it visible?
Yes.
Is it visible?
Yes, ma'am.
Visible to everybody? My PPT is visible to everyone?
Yes, ma'am.
Because as yesterday when we were doing the practice, this was the problem I was facing. Anyway, so now let's begin with trying to understand the symptoms of COVID-19, though all of us we know, but there are certain most common symptoms, less common symptoms, and serious symptoms. Why I wish to talk about it? Because all these common symptoms or less common symptoms, it was already there with us. Like we may have fever, dry cough, tiredness, aches and pains in our body, sore throat, diarrhea, conjunctivitis, headache. So initially when we get even a cough of 1 or 2 times, we get so much, disturbed that my God, it should not be COVID, or it should not be the problem with me. And then it starts bothering us so much so that we are in a process of losing everything, all our mental peace, or our, I would say that thought process, which can be leading to us towards the well-being. And then we are coming under great stress. And then that stress is putting us, you can say that psychological stress. So what are the problems we are facing due to COVID-19? As everybody has informed the audience, but I would like to repeat it again in different way. Probably when we have been stopped restriction or movement, that again has raised a lot of psychological issue with us. That how long we can restrict ourselves. As our speaker has said, that social distancing is one of the major cause. Even in USA, people are facing, and what I could hear from the news, that they are not ready to accept to maintain the social distancing. Probably in India or maybe in Asian countries, we are in a position to do it, but due to various problems and issues, let's say financial issues or economical issues or social issues, most of us, we are not able to make it. And then all of a sudden, all of us, we have to change our lifestyle. That's created a lot of problem to us. And new realities, as again it was being spoken, that we all have to work from home. Like how I'm talking to you, my PPT is open with you, but I'm not able to see any of you, and I'm assuming that I'm as if I'm talking into the dark. But I have to force myself that as if I'm talking to you. So this is the new reality, which is, of course, we are putting under pressure to us. Slowly we have adapted and accepted, but not to great extent. As homeschooling from the children, it has bothered not only to the teachers, but to the parents also in India. Because IT, we have improved a lot, but in each and every household system, how we have started working it, it is yet giving a lot of problem to us. Again, lack of physical contact. Of course, in India, we don't hug often to people. We have our culture of saying namaste, but interaction and sitting together is always all of us we are missing. So these are the problems, basic problems has been raised by this pandemic COVID-19, which was, I would not say how it has come, again, there was no need to say, but came all of a sudden to us, and forcefully we are being asked to confine in our own home and house, no matter whatever, as a psychologist we say, common people are giving lots and lots of stress and mental disturbance. So we have to address to them. So due to which, what are the challenges they are facing? Initially, it was thought of that, okay, maybe it would be for 1 month, 2 months, but now almost 4 or 5 months have passed, and probably yet there is no solution is being looked for before us. So challenges wise, we are facing that it has settled our life. It has halted our economy. I mean, even the rich people are not very sure that how long they can sustain their financial activities in this situation. And especially if I talk about India related activities, it has really pushed us into a deeper crisis, because most of our people are still daily, they earn and daily they try to survive themselves. So it has really created a huge problem for them. Yeah, all of us, we know that unemployment is being increased, and there are sometimes we say that these are the temporary unemployment, but yes, people are not getting salary, and it is disturbing their financial health in the household especially. And problem what we face in India, millions of migrant workers, they do travel one part of India to another part of India, and they were forced to travel A part to B part, and due to which or during that process, they have suffered a lot. And if I say numbers, millions of migrants have suffered a lot. For that reason, they are also suffering who have dependent on the daily wage laborers. Of course, students are also suffering in India because of the uncertainty of their examinations and their online classes and whatever. I mean, everything is being mentioned, so I don't have to repeat it again. And no matter how good position a job we are in, there are uncertainty about our jobs. So these are the challenges we have to face, if I can say every day, yes, every day. And then we have to find out the solution for this. And due to those challenges, what are the stress we are facing? Psychological stress, which is being risen by the audience, by the members, or maybe by the people, or maybe audience who are listening to us, and that they are living in isolation. They have to change their daily routines and lives, and of course, job loss is a great concern for all of us. Financial hardships, most of us we are facing. And as some of the experts have already mentioned, that most of us whom I'm hearing, my loved one, whom I know, they have lost their near and dear, and they are still not able to come up that, my God, how it has been happened to me. And all these things are affecting huge, or maybe I would say that intense way, our mental health and well-being. So due to all the psychological issues, as Madam has expressed, but I would like to again repeat it, that we are having problem or issues which can be named as a psychologist, that we are being depressed, anxious, we are fearful, most of us spending sleepless night, we are facing through the severe anxiety, frustration, aggression, helplessness. Even if somebody is getting COVID and the mother or father or brother, sister, I mean, he or she is being pushed to the hospital, and we are not even able to see them even after they go and leave this world. So there is a huge sense of helplessness is being felt by the people during the COVID-19, due to which there are lots of conflict going on in our mind. And because of that, yes, there are a lot of eating disorders, and there are a lot of addictive behaviors are being shown in us. So if these are the problems and issues with the common people, like how we can go about it. First of all, we have to understand that what are the psychological disturbance can be seen as a common people. As a psychologist, we may talk and we can give a lot of good terms, but how a common people can understand that these are the sign of psychological disturbance. So please observe it, and if there are any sign persistent or continuously happening with you, please take some help. Help can be taken by yourself, or help can be taken by the counselor as well. So these signs could be persistent worry or feeling of overwhelmed by emotions, excessive worry. Sometimes you feel that like something very bad is going to happen without any reason. Some of you have asked the question about the rational and irrational behavior pattern. Yes, a lot of irrational behavioral patterns are emerging nowadays, and then many people are feeling restlessness and irritability. We have to study, we have to, if I'm talking on behalf of the students, they have to make their careers, but they are facing the difficulties of concentrating themselves. There are lack of interest and pleasure in everyday activities. Though we say that you can involve, you can engage yourself in many activities, but it is becoming very difficult. It is becoming very monotonous, and people are facing psychological disturbance due to which. If you feel that there is certain significant weight loss or gain, you have to be worried about yourself. If you are sleeping excessively, or maybe you are not in a position to sleep at all, again, this is a problem of worry to us. Often we may feel that, my God, I'm worthless. I could not save my loved one once he or she was there in the hospital. I have interacted recently with one of my students who has lost his mother, and she was crying inconsolably, because she said that, madam, I feel so much responsible, that why did I send or ask her to go out, and at the last 9 days none of us we were there with her, so I do not know how she must have faced. So these are, feeling is really disturbing the common people, and of course then in that process we feel that we are guilty. And if it becomes very high, then yes, we may think of committing suicide, or maybe some strong step can be thought of taking. Of course, people are not taking it, but the thought can come in. We may have the shortness of breath or feeling of choking, sometimes rapid heart rate that becomes, sign of your blood pressure, or raising your blood pressure. And then often we are becoming fearful about our own future. So if all these thought processes are going on among us, probably most of us, we are facing the psychological problem, or we can say the disorder, which has really given the lot of responsibility on the psychologist, that how can we help them out. Because whatever mental problem we are facing, that will be reflected on our physical health. And once the physical health has started deteriorating, our immune system has started weakening, probably we have to be really, really concerned about our larger interest of the society. So as already it is being spoken, that all of us, we have to try to understand about our mind and behavior. We must be in a position to understand and know about our feeling and thought, which is, we call it in psychological term, emotional intelligence. Or we have to raise our emotional quotient to face this situation which has come up to us. No matter whether we like or we don't like, we have to survive and we have to be with the situation. So how can we think about it? We have to continuously evaluate our thought process or self-talk, whatever is coming to our mind. All these symptoms or signs, what I have just now narrated to everybody, if those symptoms or signs, without knowing, as madam has said, consciously, unconsciously or subconsciously, it is coming to your thought process, consciously you have to analyze it one by one. Self-talk has to be analyzed every time, every moment, so that you can cure yourself, even if you're not getting the psychological help immediately. Else, as we know, that our life can be miserable, or maybe we can have it can cause a lot of problems in our daily life. So initially, how can we reduce it? We have to minimize the news feed. Why I say so? Because in every channel of India, there are hundreds of channels. I don't know how many news channels are there, and they always talk about the number wise. Today number has become like that, tomorrow number has become like that, and we get disturbed when we see that number is rising a lot. So minimize the news feeds if it is negative and disturbing you. You always have to keep in touch with your loved ones. There are various mediums, thanks to media and thanks to IT sector. Here I would like to thank to Nitin sir, who is really helping us a lot to talk to the audience and talk to the people now. And yeah, you have to minimize your screen time as well. If you're working from home, you have to take regular break from your on-screen activities. Else it also disturbs. I have felt on my own that yes, it gives a lot of pressure on us. If you are using or trying to use the social media for positive activities, yes, please go ahead and use it. And you can use your own account to promote your positive and hopeful stories, where people can be motivated enough to understand the idea about yourself in a better way. If possible, in India, we believe altruistic behavior. We believe helping each other. Try to open your, if you have certain financial good position or good health, economic health is better with you, please try to help others. This will give you satisfaction and as well as help to many people. So from your own satisfaction, you must help others. Keep informed. When I say keep informed means what? That is there any vaccine coming? Is there any yoga, any there exercise? Is there any way of improving yourself? You have to be informed. You should not be left out that, oh my God, I was not knowing, else I would have taken well care of myself and my loved one. As everybody has said, so I don't want to spend time on it, that all of us, we have to have a routine. Because sitting at home, we may feel that, okay, I can get up at any point of time, I can sleep at any point of time. Often when I ask people, when I call my loved one, then I hear that Netflix pay, we were watching the movie, so it was very late and 3 o'clock in the early morning we slept, so that is why we were sleeping and not able to answer your call. That disturbance of routine should not be, because then ultimately it will ruin our health. Since nowadays all video game, all exercise, or I can say that even the Ludo or whatever kind of game we used to play, indoor game, that is available on the mobile, and we are using it, but it should not be misused to that extent that it will hamper our health. So I would urge everybody not to use the excessive things or use of IT which may ruin your regular routine. You do your, follow your routine, get up early in the morning, do your work early in the sense whatever time you've decided, and then go ahead and keep your hygiene strong enough, because nowadays we have to keep our health hygiene in such a way that we should not contact with COVID. COVID is nothing but the matter of the fact that how personal hygiene we keep ourselves, where the keeping distance, washing our hands and other things, whatever it is being told to us, or maybe all of us we know, that would keep us, I would say that, healthy. Now, since we are in India, we always try to take help of the, you can say, ancient scriptures, where a lot of ideas are given to us. Unfortunately, we are little getting away from that. So I thought of that, since gathering is of at international level, it could be more useful not only to us, or probably to everybody. So in one of the Vedic shlokas, very, very effectively, it is told to us that how we can measure or get to know about our own immune system. Because during the COVID-19, it is already told to us that always keep your immune system excellent, or it should be above than the COVID itself, so that you should not get infected with the COVID, because it is said that if you have high immune system, probably you have got low chance of getting infected. Even if it comes to you, probably you will not even realize, and then it will go away from you. So the major, I would say that question is how to know whether I have my immune system strong or not. What can be done? First, we can measure about our own immune system. So I will give you a very small tips. Again, it is not mine, it is from my Vedic shloka, I have taken it. And I'm sure that all of us, we would accept the idea that yes, if we have these type of symptoms, we can say that our immune system is strong. So here I go. I will read it out for first, because it is in Sanskrit, and then I'll explain what does it mean. Shloka goes like this. Dehe sarvatra choshrasya samata laghavam sukham chut tikshna gadha nidra cha manaso api prasannata sharire karma samarthya analasyam cha karmasu swatah swedo gamah kale swasthatang lakshayantihi. What does it say? You can measure your own immune system if you have flawless skin. When I say flawless skin, means no rashes, no itching, no problem in your skin. If you are experiencing a strong sense of hunger, at least once in a day, what happened? That we keep on eating all the time. So when we are eating all the time, probably we are not experiencing the sense of hunger. So we have to have certain gap in our eating habit. As we all know, I don't have to tell to anybody that we 4 to 5 hours or sometimes 6 hours gap is required to feel the sense of a strong hunger. So if you're feeling the sense of a strong hunger, yes, I think that you are having a strong immune system. You should have your uninterrupted deep sleep of 7 or 8 hours, whatever you have decided, and you should experience no pain of any part of your body. Sometimes we say my hand is paining, my headache is there, or maybe whatever it is. So if there's no pain in your body, you can say that yes, you have a strong immune system. You should not have excess weight gain. I don't have to talk about much. Weight gain itself has a lot of problems and issues. There should not be any feeling of laziness and tiredness. If your immune system is strong enough, you should not feel lazy or you should not feel tired. So in that case, I can say there should be absence of laziness. You should have experience of positive thoughts and happiness. Whatever psychologists, as a psychologist, we say that we should have positive thought, we should have always, there should be thought of well-being. But if you are not, your immune system is not strong enough, probably because of your certain weakness, you may gain or you may have, there is a controversy could be, but I'm talking about the physical immune system, that you may have the positive thought if you are healthy. Here I've written in Hindi, but probably I'll translate in English, that you should have a good digestive system. There should not be any problem in your digestive system. So if you have all those signs, those who are listening to me, an audience, please, you can understand that you have your strong immune system, and then you can take rest of others. Further, as we say that disappointment is one cause of our disturbance, could be mental or could be, in turn we get it physical disturbance. Again it says, again I have taken it from Gita, Shoko nashyate dhairya, shoko nashyate shrutam, shoko nashyate sarvam, nasti shok samripu. To summarize it, disappointment destroyed everything. So not at any point of time we should not feel or maybe allow the disappointment feeling to come near to us. Now, how it can be done? Obviously, the psychologists are there and they can help you out. But it can also help you out that quickly I would like to tell at the end of my presentation. When we get disappointed, it is obvious that we get angry quite often. And believe me, anger is the root cause of your all problems. Helplessness and whatever you talk in, psychologists are sitting there, probably they will agree with me that yes, angerness should not be there. Why? Because krodhat bhavati sammoha, sammohat smriti vibramah, smriti brashat buddhinasho, buddhinashat pranashyati. It destroy everything, so don't get angry. Yeah, I would not say at any cost, but yes, as far as possible, try to maintain your, what should I say, calm and peace of your mind. Else, probably it will be very difficult for you to get cured. As I heard my first speaker talk about the emotional intelligence. All of us psychologists, we know very well what emotional intelligence is, but sometimes it becomes a little difficult for the common audience to understand. So I thought of that, yes, quickly I will tell you what it could be. It is related to your self-awareness. When we say self-awareness means what? That you should be in a position to know about your own feeling, about your own thought process, about your own self-talk, that how it is going on within yourself. If I'm talking to you, if I can ask one question to some of you, that what exactly thought process is going on in your mind? Probably very first reaction would be, oh, I'm not thinking anything, I'm listening to you carefully. But yes, there could be some thought, maybe it is going to be 10:45 when this lecture will get over, who will come next, what will happen next, I have to cook my food and whatever, it could come in. You have to analyze and quickly try to understand that thought process. If you wish to be here, your thought process should be involved here. If you wish to be somewhere else, because of being here, if it is disturbing to you, probably you can choose what should be the better option for you. So always you should be in a position to read, or you should have the ability to read and understand your own emotions. Why? Because self-aware people are comfortable with their own strength, and often they would not crippled about by their weaknesses because they can change their self-thought. Once it is there with you, yes, you will be in a position to manage yourself better. When I say when you are in a position to manage yourself better, means that when you are aware about your own emotions, believe me, you will be in a position to manage your emotions. Only you have to need to know what are the negative emotions and what are the positive emotions. So all those negative emotions, if you remember initially, I have jotted down for you, and other speakers also have told to you, in different ways. So once you have to realize, and if it is realized, then probably you will be in a position to manage your own emotions by not making rash decisions, or whatever, whenever you will not overreact to any situation if it is disturbing to you, especially during COVID-19. You may have stress in your workplace, you may have stress in many other places, but you should train yourself accordingly. Further, some of say that yes, you have to be mindful. You have to be mindful about not only to yourself but about others as well. You should be in a position to know that what is going to tick to the other person whom you are talking to. So once if you understood that person, probably you become empathetic, and you will be in a position to not only manage yourself, not only cure yourself, but you will be in a position to manage others as well. Yes, and then being in India, how it is possible that I would not talk about relationship management. We believe in managing our relationship. Probably third, fourth generations people, those who are surviving, we are intact with them. But slowly nowadays we are losing the context. That should not happen. But once if you become a little bit aware about your emotions, about your thought process, about your ideas, I can tell you that yes, you will be in a position to enhance your emotional quotient, which may enable you to be successful person, not only to inspire yourself, but to inspire others as well. And then you will be in a position to reach the people where you can help others with your full potential. Yes, and of course, it could also be vital for negotiating with others to cure them, to calm them successfully. If there are conflicts arising within your family members, because I have heard that most of the time people are fighting during this COVID-19 sitting at home because family is big and space is less, and probably yes, conflict are arising a lot, which I have read in the newspaper. So if you could groom yourself, probably you will be in a position to resolve conflicts of not only yourself with others, but in the society at large as well. And yes, what is the shared goal nowadays? Shared goal of all of us is that how to be healthy, happy, and stress-free. It is very difficult to say that we'll be stress-free, but yes, we have to manage our stress to reach the goal towards to become the happiness, to happy kind of person. And I would say that no matter whatever situation we are facing with, I have a positive feeling that we will come out of it. And as Madam has said, and I also would like to say that a lot of positive aspects are happening around us. Environment has been cleaner. Many times I would say that job opportunities are also there for us. New job opportunities are coming up to us. And thus, yes, we are in a position to enjoy ourselves. Some of us, not everybody. Those who are not in a position to enjoy themselves, probably please follow these patterns, follow these whatever all of us we are sharing with you, and it will definitely, it is going to help you not only to all of you, to all of us as well. And we will be in a position to emerge successfully as a winner from this COVID-19 situation. From my side, thank you so much. Thank you. This was my talk.
Yes, thank you so much, ma'am. The session is now open for questions from the participants. And Meera ma'am, we have one question. It says that how do we maintain concentration specifically at work since our efficiency has decreased in these difficult times?
Yes, yes, very good question. And I think all of us, we are facing that. I said the psychological issues are there, that we are not able to concentrate on various issues. Reason being that we are disturbed. So what are the reason of being disturbance? Again, all of us, we have talked about it. First of all, try to focus the area of your disturbance, and if you could eliminate, and then if you could prioritize that your job or maybe your work is more important at this point of time rather than what you are feeling, probably you will in a position to go ahead on your own. Concentration, not able to concentrate, concentration is a problem we all of us facing, but we have to try to know, if I can interact with you face to face, which is not possible, that what are the reason could be n number of, but we have to promote ourselves, we have to be intelligent enough to understand and eliminate those reasons what are not allowing us to focus, and probably then we can push ourselves. Anyway, concentration level does not go for the longer time, as psychologists say that we are not in a position to concentrate more than 10 to 15 minutes. So concentrate at least for that time, take a break, again bring back to your thought process, and you will be able to go ahead. I think so. That is my advice to you.
Yes, thank you, ma'am. The next question is, due to excessive use of technology, are there any ways in which we could detoxify ourselves from this?
Yes, yes, there are many ways. If you do not have any choice that you have to sit there, probably there is certain posture of yoga. It is being told to us. I'm not yoga teacher, but I know certain exercise where you can take little bit walk. You can do little bit pranayam. You can do little bit anulom vilom. You can stretch yourself, and I'm sure that you will feel that you are feeling better. And believe me, when I am there on online, because all of us, we have to work on online, sometimes I pause my video and then I take a walk, and could be for 2 minutes, 3 minutes, and if there is my contribution coming near to, then definitely I come and do it. So all of us, we have to manage accordingly. Inculcate habit of yoga in your daily routine and daily exercise. Believe me, it is going to benefit you immensely, even if you do it for 5 minutes. I hope I have reached to you.
Yes, thank you, ma'am. And we'll take up the last question for this session.
Yes.
There is a lot of discrimination faced by the COVID patients, which is losing to a loss of their self-morale. Could you give some specific advice for them?
Yes, as I have given you the example of my own student, and I'm in regular touch with her to counsel her. She is not in a position to get out of it. That how could it happen with my mother? Suppose it is a very fearful situation, because one person is getting COVID, it goes without say that everybody will get it. For that, who has the strong immune system, or how can we develop our immune system strong? We have to work on it. And a lot of precautions, a lot of medicines are being told to us. We have to work on it, and many things. Most important thing I would say, that we have to keep our morale very high, because this COVID is attacking those people, especially we say that older people and those who have certain diseases. Why? Because their immune system is not so strong. So try to increase your immune system even if you get it, and always have a positive thought process. Your morale has to be very, very high, that I would come out of it. You know that even Mr. Amitabh Bachchan has got it. Many other people have got it, those who are old enough, but they're recovering because of their mental strength. So we all have to improve our mental strength, and do whatever it is possible to do to keep our immune system high. And as I have already told that how we can measure our immune system, I think it is very easy now to measure that how our immune system can be or should be high. Yes, did I reach to the person who have asked the question?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you for patiently answering all the questions. I would now request Ghanisha to please take over.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much, ma'am. It was indeed an honor to have a PhD holder like you from IIT Mumbai with us here today. We definitely have received better inputs on the pandemic and how important it is to take care of our mental as well as physical health today. Thank you, ma'am. Before we move ahead with the vote of thanks for today's webinar, a few instructions for tomorrow. The link for accessing the feedback form for today's session has been put up in the question answer session. Participants are requested to address the same. The link for the day 2 session will be shared on your registered email IDs today by 7 p.m. For any queries, please feel free to contact us at the given email ID. Moving ahead with the vote of thanks for today's webinar. The essence of all beautiful art is gratitude. As we come to an end of today's webinar, I would now like to extend a heartfelt thanks to everyone without whom this session wouldn't have been possible. It's my privilege to have been asked to propose the vote of thanks today. Firstly, I would like to thank our Principal, Dr. Rishikesh Soman Sir, Vice Principal, Dr. Sunaini Parchure Ma'am, for being with us, our constant source of support, encouragement, and guidance. A special thanks to our HOD Ma'am for always being there for us. Thanks to the all distinguished speakers for graciously accepting our invitation and sharing their immense knowledge and inputs with us here today. A heartfelt thanks to all our faculty members at Symbiosis College, Registrar Dr. Gandhali Parulekar Ma'am, admin staff, technical team consisting of Nitin and Nazir Sir for being with us here throughout. I would also like to appreciate our webinar team, Mrs. Kashmira Bhere, Mr. Shivanand Thorat, Ms. Swarali Sahasrabuddhe, Ms. Bhakti Laoti, and our entire brigade of student volunteers to make this day one of the webinar a successful one indeed. A huge thanks to all our participants for turning up in great numbers and being an amazing audience. Hope to see you all the same place, same time tomorrow. Thank you everyone and have a great day ahead. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Shall we leave now?